So what's new in Dolibarr number 13? So well, first, just a comparison between other versions. So you can see we have 207 new features. So a features here is big and small. So we will speak only about the most important features. And there is 37 features dedicated to developers. So let's have a look now at the first features we can notice. First, the look and feel. Each version of Dolibarr, we try to enhance the look and feel to be more sexy, to have a pretty software. So it's not a big change, it's just small change, but each version has a list of small change. So, for example, we can see here, we have, for example, on the combo list for the country, you can see we have a flag, for example, now on all combo lists for the country. It will be the same for the languages. If you take a look at the combo list for the user, you see you have now the photo of the user. So this is an example. We will also have some pictogram to represent some field. For example, the phone or the email. There is now something that you can see. It is well, easier to find a field in a formula in form when there is a lot of field. Another enhancement is when you want to change the colors of the application. So let's go on the setup page. Imagine you want to change the color. Here I will put the orange color. You can see the effect is immediate. So you can see immediately what is the change. Now I will change, for example, the background. Okay, so I will not record it, but it is. You can see immediately the effect of the change of the colors. Another change is visible here in the link to switch to the online documentation. This is an interrogation mark, but if you go on some pages, for example this one, you see you have the pictogram has changed. Now you have a dot to say, well, there is a dedicated page, there is a dedicated tutorial page specific to the page you are on your application. So if I click on the link now, instead of going to the home page of the documentation, we will go directly on the page related to the page we are in Dolibarr. We have more widgets. So the widgets are the box you can add on the home page. So there is around 4 or 5 widgets more. So I will let you see what are the widgets. I can't remember all of them. Another very big important enhancement, you can see it. It's not visible, but it's a very big work we did in the application. We launched a bug bounty campaign. So a lot of security searchers tried. So it was a private campaign. So some searchers in security tried to hack Dolibarr, and they report us the vulnerabilities they found, and we fixed all of them. So we have found 2 major securities vulnerabilities, and the rest was securities you can exploit only if you were logged into the application. But all of them, so you can count around 120 vulnerabilities were fixed. So we made a big change in a lot of components and into the architecture of the application to be less vulnerable. Then there is a lot of change into TechPOS. So TechPOS is a point of sales that is available by default with Dolibarr. So let's have a look at the new TechPOS. So we are now in the point of sale. So we call it TechPOS, and this is the change. First, when you change the user you want to use when you record a new sale into your shop, you can now immediately create a new user here with the button plus. So if you want to take a user that does not exist yet in the list, you can create it directly from the TechPOS application. Of course, a lot of users will not use it because they will still use one generic user. But for people that need to create a dedicated user for each sale they do, it is now possible to do it directly from TechPOS. Another change is the currency. You can now switch and use the multi-currency into TechPOS. Another change is the choice of the terminal. Well, imagine there is several terminal. You use several terminal in your shop. So if you choose one, now if you keep on the same computer, the next time you will log in to TechPOS, it will be automatically pre-selected on the terminal one. And the last change, it's not available here in my demonstration because I did not enable the feature. But you can have the amount you have in your stock. So in the stock of the shop, you can see it directly after the quantity. Here you have a number that is also the amount you have in your stock, the amount of products that remains in your stock. So it will be visible directly into TechPOS. And another change I miss is the payment. You can use now a delay payment. I did not enable it, but you can have another choice of mode of payment. It's a payment instead of use credit card, check, or coin. You can use the delay payment. So it is designed for the case you want to record the payment on another software than Dolibarr. So you can record the payment into TechPOS and you just say it is an external delayed payment. Okay, that's all for TechPOS. Now we have change in the bulk action. So there is a lot of more bulk action. Here you have just some example. You can set the category, so the tag of different website pages in one action. You can delete several draft invoices in one action using the bulk action. You can delete a lot of payments, a lot of events, also using the bulk action. There is also another bulk action. For example, in the agenda. So for example, in the list of events, if I take several events, there is a bulk action here to set the status to finished or to in progress, for example. for all the selected events. There is more bulk action, but I will not list all of them. Then there is also a lot of more predefined export profiles and a lot of more predefined import profiles. And there is an important import profiles. For example, now you can import proposals, you can import sales orders, and you can import supplier invoices. So it means you have two profiles for each object, one profile to import, for example, the order, and another one to import the line of the orders. So it is now possible to import all orders from a file by using these predefined import profiles. There is more option into the accountancy module. So it is just not really feature, but just option, default option you can set up to make the accountancy more easier to use it quicker. There is also two more rules in the email collector feature. So let's have a look at the email collector feature. So you may don't know it, but you have in Dolibarr a module called email collector. So this module is able to read your email box and then collect email and make record into Dolibarr. For example, we can read your email box and create project opportunities into Dolibarr directly by using the information into the email. So the email collector is something a little bit difficult to set up, but it is very powerful. You can do nearly exactly a lot of things. And among the things you can do, there is now two more filters. So you can decide to filter now on all the messages that are sent from Dolibarr and all the messages that are not sent from Dolibarr. These two new filters are very useful if you want to scan not the inbox email, but the outbox email. So the email that we call the sent email. When you use Dolibarr and you send your email from Dolibarr, you can set up your SMTP to have the email also visible into your sent email box. And if you want to scan this email box and not collect the email because you don't have to, because it is already sent from Dolibarr, you have this filter, so you can collect all the emails sent and excluding the emails that was already sent from Dolibarr. So imagine you make an answer directly from your email, but you can use this filter to find them and include them into Dolibarr. So this is the two new filters you have now into the email collector. For the action, you have only one operation you can do more. I will speak to it later. It's the action create. Well, the translation is not good here. It's create a job application. We will see it when I will speak about the new module recruitment. Now there is a page to list the stock, but not only the current stock at the current date, but to list the stock at a given date in the past. Let's have a look. So this is a new menu entry, stock at date. And you can now select a date in the past, for example, the 1st of December. And you can see the stock you have at this date. And you can compare with the current stock. Okay, So here the value are the same, but if I take a date very in the past, well, well, you can see I take the, I can see that in 20 years ago the stock was 0. I have 30 movements, and now the stock is this one 120. So this is a very important feature. You can see we have also a tab date in the future, but this is not yet completely available. If I put the date in the future, for the moment, I can see the current stock compared to the virtual stock. So the stock we will have once all the order and all the manufacturing order will be done, but we don't have yet the virtual stock for a given date. So this is a feature we still have to do. It's not very complex because it's just the same code than this to get this one, but we must introduce also a filter on the date. So this will be probably available for the version 14. We now can generate documents from the ticket module. So we can generate a PDF document and an ODT document. We have also a new interaction into the module workflow. So this interaction is, close an intervention if we are closing a ticket. So of course, it works only if you create your intervention from a ticket. So if you have created an intervention from a ticket, when you close the ticket, it is possible also to close automatically the intervention. There is a new feature in the expense report. You have now, you can now go into the setup page to define a maximum amount allowed to declare. So this is a new feature that you can test. It is not completely finished because we need a lot of tests. It is an enhanced feature because it is not just to say the maximum amount. You can say give rules, and you can give rules depending on different things to say, well, this kind of situation, you have a maximum amount you can declare that is 100 euro, and in other situation it is another amount. So you define rules to decide the maximum amount a user can declare in its expense reports. Then another important feature is reminders. So let's have a look in the agenda into an event. Let's take an event. Let's take the first one. Now, when you create an event and when you modify an event, you have this new feature. Create an automatic reminder notification for this event. So you click on it and you can decide to send a reminder. It may be an email or it may be a pop-up on your application. So you can choose, it can be both. So imagine you choose a pop-up 1 hour before the event. And if we have several users assigned to the event, all the users assigned to the event will receive a pop-up if Dolibarr is opened. The pop-up can also make a sound, a beep. Of course, each user can decide from its browser to disable this feature. And the other possibility is to send an email. So it's the same. Each user that is assigned to the event will receive this email. There is also a new rate editor. So if you use the multi-currency, you can now set the rate of a currency, but not only the current rate, you can also define the rate it was 1 or 2 days before. You can define the size of the logo on your PDF document, so directly from the setup. So if you have a very large logo, sometimes the logo was not visible, was resized and not very. The resizing was not very good. So now you define the height and you decide the weight of the logo. You can change the weight rate. I don't know if in Germany you say weight, so the text edit, the valuable edit text tax. You can change it on all the lines into one step. So let's have a look. Imagine I take a proposal, for example. It will be the same for an order. So I will take a draft proposal, so I can modify. This is a draft proposal. You can see there is 3 lines, and the weight rate is currently 18. I will change it to 4, for example. And now the weight rate is 4 for the 3 line. So this is interesting if you have several lines, of course. You can set tags and categories to the website pages. So let's have a look to the website module. So for example, this is a website that was designed with Dolibarr. There is a lot of pages. This is all the page of my website. And now, with the tool, so for example, with the tools that list all the page, you can select all the page of your website and you can set a category or a tag. Well, here I did not define tag, but so you can classify all your pages into different categories. You can decide to the replenishment feature has been enhanced. So now you can decide to make a replenishment not only for your company, but for a given warehouse. Imagine you have 2 different warehouses and you want to have a stock for the product A of 10 in the warehouse A, and you want a stock of 20 in the warehouse B. So it was possible to make a replenishment to say, I want always in all my stock 30 products. But now you can also say, I want to make a replenishment only for the warehouse A. So Dolibarr will suggest you to buy enough product to reach the quantity 10 in the warehouse A. You have an option the option to use several prices per levels of. So it is an existing feature. So you can say for each product, I have different product price. For example, a level price A, a level price B, a level price C. Well, it was not compatible if you use the module variant. Now it is. You can use both the feature of different price per levels of customers and be compatible with the variant module. So the feature to use variant of a product. The Active Directory Soundbar 4 is now compatible with the LDAP module. And there is also a lot of minor enhancements. So I spoke at the beginning of the presentation about 207 features. So all the features I didn't speak about for the moment are well, there is 207 features. So I won't speak about all of them. So you can imagine there is a lot of other features I do not speak for the moment. Let's have a look now about the features for developers or integrators. So we removed a lot of deprecated code. I think it's the most important version with the most important cleaning of code. There is a lot of more REST API. I will not list them because there is a lot of important new API now. There is more hooks. There is more, not a lot of, but just a small. But it's better than nothing. More PHP unit tests. There is also more substitution variables. There is also a new function called Dol button to open URL in dialog pop-up. So if you read the name of the function, you may understand what it is. Let's have a look. For example, I am in the website module and I want to open the media manager. So the feature to upload documents or images. You can see this open directly into a pop-up. I use here the same page that you have into the document feature, but it was open into the pop-up. So you can, with this method, with this new function, you can open any page of Dolibarr, but into a pop-up. And the top menu and the left menu will be automatically removed if your URL is open with this method. So for the moment, it's not used in Dolibarr except the example I show you, but it is possible now to open it, to use it at a different place to have a lot of things that is open into a pop-up. It is more user-friendly. And you can use it, of course, into your external modules if you want. There is a lot of enhancement in the module, so module builder. So the module builder is a tool that make Dolibarr ready for the no-code revolution. So it will be possible to develop a new feature with no code. Well, among the enhancements, you can now use PHP dynamic code inside the property enabled of a field. You have several properties to define the CSS you want to use for a field of an object. Imagine you develop a module to manage the children of a classroom. You will create an object student. You want to manage the student of the classroom. You will create an object student. In the object student, you will add the property, the name, the first name, the age of the student, and you will set a CSS to define how this field will be visible on the screen. In version 20, you can set only one CSS. Now you can define a different CSS for the formula. So for the form you will use to create the student, and use a different CSS for the list that is used to list all the students. So you have different property now to use a different, for example, to use a different color if you want. Also, there is a new property called Picto that allow you to decide what will be the small image visible before a field. For example, here you see before the field product, now I have a small icon of the product. Before the field warehouse, I have a small icon of the warehouse. And the module builder, when you decide for your student, for example, before the name, you can decide to put an icon of your choice. A little word about the compatibility. So of course we can still migrate Dolibarr from any version, except if you are using Doliwamp. So Doliwamp, you know, it's a special package. It's not only Dolibarr, it's Dolibarr plus the technical components, PHP, MariaDB, and this technical application have changed into this package. So it's not possible to upgrade Dolibarr from an old version if you installed it in the past using this special package. If you install Dolibarr using the recommended solution, so by, for example, unzipping the zip file, or by using the Debian package, or by using the Git clone feature, it's not a problem. You can migrate from any version of Dolibarr, even if it's a version 3. Everything will work as usual. But if you use Doliwamp, the only solution is to make a backup, uninstall your old Doliwamp, install the new one, and then restore your backup. The automatic migration will not work with Doliwamp. The version 13 of Dolibarr is still compatible with any PHP version 5.6 and higher. Recently, PHP 8 has been released. We have started to make Dolibarr compatible. It's on the road, but it's not finished. I don't know if it will be finished for the release. The release of Dolibarr 13 will be done in January, but I don't know if it will be available. So it will depend on the contribution we will receive during the December months. So if you are a developer, you are encouraged to migrate PHP and try Dolibarr and fix the things that don't work yet. Now, I will speak about the new modules we have in Dolibarr. We have a new module to record credit transfer SEPA to make payments using credit transfer SEPA file. So maybe you already know the feature direct DB SEPA that exists in Dolibarr, in all versions of Dolibarr. So the direct DB SEPA feature is a module you can enable to generate a SEPA file. Then you send the file to your bank, and your bank will make a direct debit of all your customer to pay all your customer invoices. We have now the same feature to record the payment of your suppliers. So it is called the credit transfer SEPA module. So just enable the feature, and you will see a button to convert an invoice to pay it into using a credit transfer. At the end of the month, you can generate the SEPA file and send it to your bank, and you can pay all your suppliers like this. The bank will make a credit transfer to all the suppliers in one time. There is a new module called reception. Well, it's not an important module because you already can record the reception when you make a purchase order. You can already record the reception of the product. But this module allows you to make reception with a more accurate level. Well, it is really similar to the shipment module you can use for your customer order, or your sell order. Well, there is a new prototype of a module, so it is not working yet. But if you are a developer and if your Dolibarr is in a state development or in a state experimental, you can try this module. It is a module to generate what we call the intra-community report when you make foreign sell outside your country. Sometimes you have to make a report. This module is a start to generate automatically report for this case. I know the document is usable for France. I don't know if it is compliant with other country. A very important module for the future, it's a Zapier module. It is, for the moment, only a prototype, but it is a working prototype. So Zapier, if you don't know, it's an online service that know around 2,000 applications. If Dolibarr is also known by Zapier, it means you can interface Dolibarr with the 2,000 other applications, and you can do nearly everything. So you can imagine everything. You can, for example, imagine to connect Dolibarr with Uber to automatically generate the invoice. You can imagine to connect Dolibarr with Gmail, with any application that is known by Zapier. If your own application is known by Zapier, you can interface it with all the other applications. So for the moment, Dolibarr is not available by default into Zapier, but there is a small tutorial into the GitHub of Dolibarr that explains you how you can create a Zapier account and how you can declare Dolibarr to be compatible with Zapier. So you have a small operation to do, and once it is done, your Dolibarr is known by Zapier, and you can connect it with the other application. For the moment, the prototype allow you to interface Dolibarr with the third-party module, so you can create customer or delete or update customer. So there is only few interfaces you can do, but in the past, once the interface with Zapier will be enhanced, you can imagine that we will be able to do everything in Dolibarr, and you can imagine we can do a lot of things. The component to interface Zapier with Dolibarr is using the trigger of Dolibarr, and it is also using the API of Dolibarr. So it is not easier. The most difficult was to do the first example, the prototype. So now we will let the community to enhance the interface with Zapier. So we will be able to interface the Zapier with any feature of Dolibarr. There is also a new experimental module called Recruitment. Let's have a look. So you can define a new job position. You want to recruit to hire an employee. So you will define the profile of the employee. And you create your job position. Once this is done, oops, Of course, you can see it is an experimental feature, but well, it is the first bug we have in this beta version. It will be fixed, of course, for the release. You can see my job position has been validated. So now I have a link. I will take the link and jump. Oh, I did not enable the feature, so I will enable it. So wait a moment. I go into the setup of the new module recruitment. And into the setup, I will enable the public page. Okay, now it is done. Let's go to my job position. So this is the job position I have created. Let's use the link. And you can see there is now a public page, so you can communicate on this public page to say, I am hiring people. So the link is public, everybody can see it. Once this is done, you can receive the job application, and you can record them on Dolibarr. So imagine someone apply for the job, you can record it. You will take the name of the applicant. But you can also decide to use the email collector. I spoke about it few minutes ago. And you can decide to collect the email to automatically create the application into the Dolibarr database. So you choose, and both is possible, manually or using the email collector. So you will have a list of job application. And once this is done, you will change the status of your job application. For example, okay, you will validate it. You will make the interview with the applicant. You will probably make an offer. You will suggest him a contract. And the applicant may decide to work for you, so he will accept the job. There is a problem in the translation here. Well, he signed the contract, so now he works for you, so you can convert it and create directly a Dolibarr user for this applicant. Of course, you have all the common features, the nodes, the linked file you have in other Dolibarr objects. So this is the new module recruitment. That's all. You can have a complete list of all the change by reading the change log. You will find the 207 changes.